Trial proceedings began yesterday behind closed doors in Russia in the case of Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich. Taken into custody on espionage charges in March of last year, Gershkovich is considered wrongfully detained. That's the U.S. government assessment. It's unclear what happened in court yesterday. We don't know exactly how long the trial might last. His next hearing is set for August the 13th. Join us now, Dow Jones CEO and publisher of the Wall Street Journal, Almar Latour. Also with us, President Emeritus of the Council on Foreign Relations, Richard Haass. Gentlemen, good morning to the both. Almar, I'll start with you. Obviously, front page above the fold this morning in the Wall Street Journal is Evan's trial. And just below that, a chilling image of Evan in court, first day of his trial, with a shaved head. What's your reaction to the beginning of this trial?
Well, unfortunately, it's playing out in as grim a fashion as we had anticipated. It's farcical proceedings with a sham trial based on a lie. Evan looks emaciated in that photo. They shaved his head. He's been moved into a new prison facility because the trial, the court proceedings moved from Moscow to Yekaterinburg, where he's now in a cell for 4 people. We believe he has so far 1 cellmate. But the trial itself is a mystery. The proceedings themselves are a mystery. It's Kafkaesque. You're not, our lawyers are not allowed to talk to us. The very lawyers that we've retained cannot share anything about the trial, or they will be charged with espionage. And so all of this is a fiction. All of this is part of the autocratic playbook.
And this, if he's found guilty, which, as we've noted, more than 90% of these cases in this court, they do reach a guilty verdict. He faces up to 20 years in prison. I want to respect your private negotiations and conversations behind the scenes because it is so sensitive. But to the extent you can share, are there glimmers of hope when you talk to intermediaries, when you perhaps have direct discussions and negotiations with Russian authorities?
Yeah, not once throughout this process have we lost hope. There have definitely been ups and downs. I can't speak to the very specific developments right now, but people are working around the clock, not just U.S. officials, but allied nations as well. And so we feel very supported. The family feels supported. I know Evan feels that support as well. We will get him out.
So, Joe, a statement from Evan's family yesterday talking about the just excruciating last 15 months since Evan was snatched and put into prison on sham charges of espionage.
It is. It's heartbreaking for the family, and obviously, Almar, heartbreaking for the family of journalists at the Wall Street Journal who have, for years, provided Americans and the world some of the greatest reporting across the world. One of Mika's relatives who was on the show yesterday was a Wall Street Journal reporter in a similar beat. How is this impacting your news gathering? Obviously, it breaks everybody's heart. But what tough decisions are you all having to make about how you cover the world and continue shining a light on the darkness in Russia?
Well, thank you. First of all, we have a relatively new editor, Emma Tucker, who has led with grace throughout this whole ordeal. And I believe that this is really a moment for our particular journalism coming really close to our purpose, to really double down on that purpose of bringing reliable information to a world in which reliable information is hard to come by. So I think everyone is extra motivated. At the same time, it's very precarious right now to be a reporter in hotspots around the world, and so we proceed with caution. We have a security protocol in place that we've tightened up even more, but we are doubling down on our mission.
Yeah. And we've said on the show, I certainly have said many times, even if we had problems with a story or two, what an extraordinary job we think Emma Tucker is doing over at the Wall Street Journal has really breathed life into the publication over the past 6 months or so, and has highlighted this issue time and again, Richard Haass, which is what the family has to be heartened by how the Wall Street Journal has stood shoulder to shoulder. I am curious, though, how do we deal with a superpower, or at least a country that considers itself still to be a superpower, when they keep kidnapping our journalists, our athletes, and just American citizens that are kidnapped by Vladimir Putin and then exchanged later for international fugitives, international thugs, that are like weapons dealers, merchants of death?
And Joe, I wish I could give you a good answer. I was involved in trying to get American hostages out of Lebanon years ago when I worked at the White House. And it's just one of the most frustrating things. The more you talk about it, the more you try. In some ways, it's a real dilemma, because then it signals, wow, this is really valuable. What else can we get from you Americans? Right. So it's just a dilemma for the government. And it's also here, the question, I think, is what's motivating Russia? I'd actually be curious in your sense. To what extent do you think this is to intimidate, to basically show all journalists, you cover us in certain ways, we're going to get you? To what extent have you gleaned from your contacts with them that this is also potentially a way to set up a trade? And again, I don't want to go too far, but what you think is motivating them?
Yeah, well, so traditionally, these types of cases have led to a trade of some sort, and that is definitely one of the motivations that we discern. And that's, I think, a level of effort that's going into a trade from the U.S. side and from allies around the world. That's one thing. I think the motivation is also to humiliate the West and to humiliate free press and to serve up an example to say, hey, do not write about us in any unfavorable manner.
Elmer, the negotiations for Evan's release are obviously sensitive, and much of it, all of it, probably behind the scenes. We don't know much about what's going on publicly, nor should we know. But obviously, again, the insertion of domestic politics into this popped up yesterday. Former President Donald Trump on his Truth Social platform said, wrote, "Fear not, Evan. I will get you home soon, and you will be safe while there," unquote. What's your reaction when you see that?
Well, I'm not going to comment on the specific posting, but we've seen bipartisan support throughout the past 15 months. And so that is continuing in some form. We hope that Evan can come home sooner than the election, when we're working toward that and putting a spotlight on Evan for that very purpose, to try and get him home now. I know a lot of work has taken place. I do think it's important, per your comments just now, Dick, that there is a debate on how we're going to end the hostage-taking industry by autocrats. And that is really putting pressure on journalists all over the world. And you see this behavior being mirrored in other nations as well. And so I think that is a legitimate debate to have, but that's apart from that particular posting.
And Elmer, what can Americans watching right now, watching this show, watching other shows, that want to help, what can they do?
Well, first of all, join in the discussion. Start conversations around this. Wear a button like the one I'm wearing right now. Why is that important? I may not feel at an individual level like you're contributing, but you are, because there needs to be an awareness that free press is under assault. Without free press, there is no free society. This is something that we hold very dear. If we let this slip out of control, there'll be a high price to pay, not just in Russia, but potentially elsewhere as well. And so I think this is one of the most important discussions that we should have in this country and around the world.
Reading from that statement from Evan's family yesterday, quote, "We miss our son and we just want him home. We all hope he comes home soon. We stand with Evan, and we stand with you, and we'll stay on this story." Dow Jones CEO and publisher of the Wall Street Journal, Almar Latour, thanks so much for being here today. We appreciate it.
Thank you, and thank you for your support.
Hey there, MSNBC fans. I'm Luke Russert, and be sure to join me, Rachel Maddow, Jen Psaki, Lawrence O'Donnell, Steve Kornacki, Joy Reid, and many more September 7th in Brooklyn, MSNBC Live Democracy 2024. Click on the link for ticket information. We will see you there.